Have you priced out the cost of a bed slide for your pickup truck recently and started thinking about making your own? Well, I did for the shop truck, and this is what I came up with. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you where I started out with the shop truck, how I built this, and it's not the perfect build. I made some mistakes, as you're going to see in the video. But with some basic tools and imagination, it is definitely something you can do. The main rule of the story is measure twice or even 3 times and cut once. Here we go. Previously, there's a row of batteries, a big power inverter, toolbox, electrical line, air line, all mounted to this piece of 3/4 inch plywood, which was cut using a cardboard template to fit the contour of the box. Just like so. That prevented it from sliding forward and back. With the batteries mounted, the tie down strap to the anchors, everything was secure. So that's going to get kept, and we're just going to add our bed slide onto it, but still make it so if the guy wants to take it out for some reason, still able to do that. So I pulled a measurement from the edge of that plywood to just before the end of the tailgate at 53 inches. Cut a piece of pressure treated 3/4 inch plywood. And to give us a little bit of wiggle room with our bed slide, I cut another strip 3/4 inches wide by 53 inches. We're going to laminate that onto the side of the plywood just to give us a little bit of left and right movement for our bed slide. So I'm going to glue this strip on to make our plywood just a little bit wider, like I said earlier, to give us a little bit more room for our bed slide to wiggle back and forth. And before I screw it, I always like to drill and countersink it. That way you don't split the wood, especially when you're dealing with thinner stuff like this. Last thing you want to do is pump a screw in, have a blowout. So just line it up, put your drill on right in the middle, and start drilling. After you get your hole countersunk, you can go ahead, lay a bead of adhesive down, get your screw gun, and fasten them in. You don't want to go too thick with your adhesive, because once you screw it down, it's going to squirt out. Last thing you want to do is have to clean up a mess. So next, I had to measure and cut some side rails to give our bed slide something to slide into. So I took the 53 inches from the end of the tailgate to there and added that extra length. Came up with 69 inches, and I measured all the layers of wood I have, the metal, the rollers, and came up with a depth of 4.5 inches. So I cut some pressure treated plywood, 3/4 inch again, to 69 inches, and my plan is to have it slide in like so. So I had to notch a 3/4 inch notch to make up for that, and now we can glue and screw this to our previous piece of plywood. But this time I'm going to use a little bit longer screws to get through these 2 pieces. Just like that. Then we'll do the other side. So I got that one on, as well as this one. Now usually what I'll do is I'll go with like 3 screws. Once you get it glued and screwed, you can go along, add a little bit more in for some reinforcement. And now if my measurements are correct, this should slide in. We should have just a little bit of room for the tailgate to close. So next I went to my sheet metal place. I got a piece of galvanized steel that measures 69 by 48 wide. Now a lot of times you can save quite a bit of money here. If you go to them, you don't need a perfect piece. You're going to be dragging stuff across it, so it doesn't matter if it's got a couple dents or some scratches. A lot of times the first sheet on a pile is going to be buggered up for them anyway, so they pretty much write it off. So you might be able to get it for next to nothing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to glue this into the base, but only up to the transition here. That way, if I decide I want to take this out for anything, I can just easily, get a forklift underneath it, or even a guy on each end, undo some screws, and slide it out. And then I cut a piece of 3/4 inch pressure treated plywood again, 69 inches front to back by 48 wide. And this is going to be our rolling deck. But first I'm going to flip it over, give the bottom coat of paint just to help seal things up. This is another time where you can save yourself some money. Just grab a can of whatever paint you got left over in the garage, pour it on, roll it out. After all, we're just sealing the bottom. You're not even really going to see it. Next, I took some 2x4s and I ripped them down so they're 1.5 by 1.5. And on our pull-out slide, I'm going to use these to give it a little more structural stability when it pulls out so the plywood doesn't flex. I'm going to mount it underneath here. I'm going to glue it and screw it. And then we're going to put our rollers on top of the part that we painted once it's dry. There we got it. Both sides glued and screwed. Let that dry up, and then we can start putting our rollers on. So I laid out all my rollers. Try to keep them evenly spaced as possible. And I figured, because it's going to be pulling in and out this way, that I would put the screws front and back. Might be a little more strength. So now I can go ahead, screw everything in, and put it in the back and see how she rolls. Rolls quite nice. I think I'm glad that I left a little bit of a gap. Gives a little bit of room to wiggle around. If you go too tight of a fit, you may run into a kind of a binding, dragging type of problem when you're trying to pull it in or out. Now, to prevent the pull out from tipping when you pull it out, what I was going to do is put a piece of wood over there. That way, when the drawer comes out and it wants to tip up at the back, it'll rub the wood at the front. But looks like I mismeasured by close to 1/4 inch there. Now I have to think, what am I going to do? Scribe and cut that down. Now, to make up for the 1/4 inch difference due to the fact that I was a little bit too much of a rush measuring, I ripped some strips down to these, about 1/4 inch. I'm going to glue them on top to make up the difference. So as you can see, I decided to glue it and screw it. That way it's nice and straight and made it so it's nice and flush. So I got it put back in. Looks like we got just about a 1/16. So I'm going to measure up and cut some 1x4, which will go at 2.5 inches. I'm going to put it over top like so. Same thing as usual. We're going to glue it and screw it. And then hopefully that'll help prevent the tray from tipping up when we pull it out a little bit. And here we go. I'm going to pull everything apart. Get rid of all the sharp edges. You don't want to get any splinters, cut yourself, stuff like that. And not to mention, it just looks better without all the sharp edges. Nice rounded corners. Just less chance of cutting yourself when you're working with it. To do that, you can get some nice coarse sandpaper to take the edges off. Or if you know a guy who's into woodworking, you might be able to borrow his router. So you can put different bits in, get different contoured corners. Or this one, just a round off bit that I've set flush. What I like about this compact router, this is good for tight spots. You don't have big clunky handles. You can get in all the tight little corners, make your life a lot easier. Now, before you use any power tool, always read the owner's manual and follow all the safety recommendations listed. So I know a guy who basically vaporized 2 of his fingers using a router. So keep your hands and your fingers away from that blade at all times. And make sure you wear hearing protection and your eyewear. Because after all, I want everybody to be able to watch and listen to more of my videos. And after you got it sanded to your liking, I don't see a point in going too crazy. Just take all the sharp edges off. After all, you're just going to be working off a thing. It's going to get beat up. You just don't want any splinters. And after you got it sanded to your liking, then you can paint it whatever color you want, or just leave it as is. I'm going to go black and even use some like rubberized rocker guard for the high wear surfaces where the slide slides in and out. I'm just going to hit it with some paint. I don't want to build it up too much because I'm already pretty tight tolerance wise. And where the sheet metal goes, I'm just going to paint the perimeter, because when I glue it down, I want the adhesive to get a good bite into the wood. So I sprayed it with a rubberized rocker guard and some black paint, put it back together, just about instantly regretted it. So I got rubberized rocker guard on this, and it ended up binding when I went to pull it out. So I had to sand it off, and it still was kind of sticking even with just paint. So just put a little bit of grease on there. Slides nice. If you get your heart set on the rubberized rocker guard, just take that into account when you build your side rails. Give yourself just a little bit more room. Now as far as a pull handle, didn't want anything too clunky. Found this piece of angle iron. Just a little piece of aluminum. Plan on screwing that to the bottom of the tray. And you can see, it gives me just, I don't know, 3/16 of a lip. Just enough to grab onto and pull the tray out. I also took my last two rollers, cut a piece of 1x4, and I just used construction adhesive and glued it to the tailgate. That way when I pull the tray out, gives it a little bit more support, and you can pull it out just a little bit further. Not to mention a little bit more weight capacity, that way the tray's not bouncing around. And it slides in nicely. I think that's going to work quite well. You just grab your fingertips, pull it right out, and it's not in your way for loading stuff. Well, what's everybody think of the build? Is there something you think I did a really good job on? Or something that you think I could definitely improve on? I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments section. Well, if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more like it, hit the subscribe button, notification bell in the bottom right hand corner. That way you get notified when we get new videos coming out. Well, that's it for tonight, everybody. Have a good night, and keep wrenching.